Good morning, my friends. I am live in Santa Cruz, California, and this is your Namaste today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Witecki. I am the Sensei to Serious Joy. My job on earth is to stand in my heart and walk in the light. And right now I am light walking across America. And today and for the next few days I find myself in beautiful Santa Cruz, California. And let me just say, my first impression of this area of the country is it is spectacular. I cannot believe this even exists. It's kind of out of a movie as far as how innocent in people's hearts they are and the amazing actual scenery of the coastline. It's amazing. And I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to the ambassadors who have been really serving me so well, treating me really like royalty, I have to say. So we're now on to Wednesday, June 17th, 2015. And today, step 26 is ruling the day. Now we're going to talk about step 26. In essence, this is the time to commit. The time has come to commit. And we're in Gemini, so that means we are committing to a mindset and we're committing to an attitude. So today in your personal sensei, I'm going to help you with how to make the right commitment. That'll be following this introduction here in just a minute. Then in Act 2 in our cosmic clock, I'm going to talk about how our feelings are caught between Uranus and Pluto today, and how today emotionally I think we're going to break that square. And then in your zodiac weather, I'm going to reveal to you where the tug-of-war is going on in your personal life. But before we dive into all of that, let's first move on to Act 1 with our personal sensei. Hello and welcome to your personal sensei for Wednesday, June 17th, 2015. And today, step 26 rules the day. Now yesterday we talked about our thoughts and monitoring our thoughts as to whether or not our thinking wasn't in line with our heart. Were we thinking and were we putting our thoughts with where we really belong? Do we really belong thinking like the victim? Do we really belong thinking like we have to be in this relationship? Do we really belong thinking that we're going to be trapped in this job? Is that where we belong? And hopefully in the last 24 hours, 36 hours, you've come to a determination of not only that you don't belong in that given situation, but you most likely have a good idea of where you feel you do belong. And that's what today's about. Today is about committing in our mind, and that means committing our life and everything else in our life to where we truly belong. And committing our thinking to where we belong. So even before you manifest the house or the dream girl or the abundance and money or all the things that you think you belong to, before that belonging comes a certain belonging of thinking. And that's what this is about right now, that to be a rock star, you've got to think like a rock star. To be a wealthy person, you got to think like a wealthy person. To be in love, you got to think like you're in love already with yourself. And so today, it's about committing to that sort of thinking. It's about committing to whatever that mindset is that we feel our whole life belongs to. And as I said yesterday, and as you've heard in The Secret and with other light workers on Earth, the Matrix is designed to where your thoughts craft what manifests in your life. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts become your reality. Every thought and the way you officially vote and react to it becomes your reality. Therefore, at this moment, we're making big commitments to where all of our thoughts belong. The entire school of thought. And that's what you're deciding today. That you are committing to a whole school of thought to one way or another. And with that school of thought comes many of moment-to-moment decisions, many of moment-to-moment fracture of a hair determinations between two sides, the 5 billion shades of white. I don't believe in shades of gray, I only believe in shades of white. But you're splitting hairs with the rest of your time after you have committed to an attitude or a system of beliefs or a school of thought. So today we are committing to a school of thought. Now to help you along, let's first begin with our phrase of the day. I am mindful of my feelings today and what naturally flows also. I am mindful of my feelings and what naturally flows also, or as well, or also what flows. Depends on what you want to write, you know? We're all picky in our own words. But for me, it comes down to this simple setup that in our mind, today we are mindful of how we feel about everything. That's really important. We need to know how we feel, because sometimes your feelings are the only thing telling you something's wrong. So I'm mindful of my feelings today and of what naturally flows as well. So what naturally flows means, wow, I feel really good here. And, working with Chris just naturally flows. There's no conflicts. It's no problem. Or, what, I feel bad here. And something is not naturally flowing. It's always so much work to talk to this person. It's always so much to get this flowing. And being mindful of how you feel and what flows, those, according to the architecture of incarnation, are really the two pieces that anyone wants to look at to make a decision, to make a commitment. You never want to commit to something that feels bad or doesn't flow naturally. You never want to commit to something that's going to flow in the future, but is not flowing right now. All right? So let's just say it one more time to keep it in our mind. Today I am mindful of my feelings and what naturally flows as well. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. Now today, it is just that. By being mindful of your feelings, by noticing what flows, you're going to gently see yourself onto the new path and the new attitude. Because, quite frankly, the beta litmus test is, if you have a new attitude on life, or you have a new mindset, if you have a new school of thought, if this school of thought does not feel good, and if this school of thought does not naturally flow in your life, it's not the right school of thought. So in other words, if a religion makes you break off all ties to your family and quit your job, that is not naturally flowing, and that does not feel good. Therefore, you are not in the right school of thought when it comes to that religion. So today, it's time to make your choice. Today, it is time to see what mindset you are committed to. And that leads us to our final moment here, your joy quest. Your joy quest, should you choose to accept it, is choose and commit to what flows. I know, I keep it simple for a reason, so we don't forget. So today, commit to what flows. And do that down to the most nanosecond, all right? So in other words, it's like, I could talk to her right now, or be waiting for him. Talk to her, that's what flows. I can go down this street that has no traffic, or I can wait here to get on the highway. No traffic, go with what flows. Today, your joy quest, if you choose to accept it, is to choose what flows at every step of the day and see where it finds you. But most importantly, if you find yourself in a big decision and commitment today, choose the side that flows, my friend. And now onto our psychic game of today's telepathy. From my temple to yours, I'm beaming a little special energy around one of these three Geminis. And today's Gemini theme are Gemini trillionaires. These are rich Geminis in history. One of them I have a little extra information about after in Act 3 when we come back with the answer. But close your eyes and see which one gives you a little extra something to it. One of these three Geminis. Which of these three Geminis am I thinking of? Is it number 1, David Rockefeller? Number 2, Cornelius Vanderbilt? Or number 3, Anderson Cooper? Which of these Gemini trillionaires do I have on the mind? I'll have the answer in Act 3. But first, let's dream on to some deeper wisdom with our cosmic clock. Or if that's too deep for you, skip ahead to Act 3 for your zodiac weather. Either way, I'll see you in just a moment. And here we are with today's cosmic clock. Well, the sun has progressed to step 26 today. Step 26 is a combination of two states of awareness. We are feeling it, the I feel with the 2, and with the 6, we are receiving. So this is where I come up with the flowing and going with the flow of things. We want to go with the 6, we want to go with what the flow is. And when our feelings go with the flow, and there's no interruption between our feelings and go with our flow, then the ruling state of awareness kicks in, step 8. So today is ruled by step 8. Today is a decision-making day, and that's why today is a day of making commitments. So today we are making commitments. Now looking at the planets, the sun, as you can see, is at step 26, and it's still involved in a hell of a stellium. The sun, our heart, and also Mars at step 25 are working in complete connectivity. So the ego and the mind are working in one stroke, basically, if things go well, or fighting against themselves. So people who have issues with fighting against themselves or picking on themselves will be kind of flared up. Any of your clients or students that you are teaching self-compassion are likely flared up, especially today, because today adds to a step 8. People are judgmental. They mean to be judging where their life needs to go. They mean to be judging what's not good for them. But if it's misguided, they'll end up judging themselves. So this is often where I end up helping clients who are in tons of self-judgment. They need to quit judging themselves and instead judging what's good for their heart. And that's really what the difference is. So we're working in a stellium here. And the third planet that's not conjunct but part of the stellium is Mercury. Mercury himself, after retrograding, is at step 5. And that means that we are reprogramming our minds at the root. Step 5 is the root step of the intellectual state of awareness. So it's kind of like Mercury is back home at the capital, and not just at the capital, at the seed. All right? So we are literally committing to a seed thought, literally committing to a seed idea. This is actually what God calls the original sin. The original sin is if your step 5 in the Gemini state of awareness is polluted, that's your original sin, step 5. That means everything up the Tower of Truth is polluted, therefore it is the original sin. So today we want to plant an original goodness in our original thoughts, and we want to make commitments to a framework of thinking that makes that original thought at step 5 be to the heart, from the heart, and for the heart. So make sure you do that for yourself. Put your oxygen mask on first, and then help your clients and your friends and who you help. Now, the moon is in Cancer today, and the moon in Cancer means our emotions are extremely fluid. So in this day where we're making a commitment to where we emotionally flow, the universe gives us full throttle of how we feel. So in the early stages of the moon, which was really yesterday, where we start to get cranky as the moon goes back and forth and get moody, right? But now people are searching for an emotional center. In fact, through the course of the day, the moon will oppose Pluto. Now this moon-Pluto opposition is basically the crankiness, or maybe the two sides of the coin that people are trying to make decisions on. On the one side is how you actually feel. That's the moon in Cancer. On the other side is Pluto. And Pluto is where we go cold and where we make cold, harsh decisions that we don't reverse. It's our cold boundaries. So part of us wants to go cold, part of us wants to be super emotional. I think the right application of this is it's time to go cold wherever it is that emotion doesn't serve us, and it's time to open up to wherever emotion flows. So this opposition of Pluto, basically through the day, could create for you or your clients or students a lot of tug-of-war, particularly about what the right thing to do is. On the one hand, they'll be emotional and sensitive to their own needs. On the other hand, there'll be a part of them that's really cold and that's ignoring their needs, ignoring what they need. And so as a light walker, I think our job is to help them see how they're feeling and point out where they're not being compassionate to themselves, and point out where their emotions are boiling over, and maybe they could use the energy there to tough out. And that's, I think, the architecture of today. Now, this opposition squares Uranus, because Pluto has been squaring Uranus. And so what this means is it's not just an emotional tug-of-war for you today and your students and your clients. It's an emotional tug-of-war that seems to have our ego on the line. Now, that's Uranus' square. The fact that our ego is on the line is an illusion, okay? Why? Because the ego can be recreated tomorrow, the next day, the next day. So if it's on the line, big deal. It's got the shelf life of my own show, one day. You know what I mean? So it's like, just like my show's not interesting tomorrow, What your ego did yesterday is not interesting to your ego tomorrow. Not really. Ego is all about now. So don't let your pride, don't let your ego, don't let strength, don't let willpower, don't let your reputation, don't let any of that get in the way of what you or your clients are doing today, because I think that is what the square is about, to rise above those fears, not get trapped down by them. Now, pouring on the good rainbow juice today is, of course, Venus and Jupiter in Leo. Let's start with Venus. Venus today is at step 11. Step 11 is where things become heaven. It's the healing step. It's the step of integrity. That means that by making this commitment to what naturally flows, we are opening up to receiving love in integrity. It just doesn't get any simpler than that, does it? So if you and your client make the commitment to what flows, Venus says you will get a full meal of love from the universe. Then at Jupiter, at step 19, Jupiter says, and not only will we make that a full meal, we'll make that a constant reality. So Jupiter 19 says you will then manifest whatever Venus comes up with, and that's a constant, by the way, that the two are working together. Now, one last thing I want to point out is Saturn. Saturn is, of course, at step 29, Scorpio, which means that for now and through the entire summer in the Northern Hemisphere, we are making little shades of white decisions about what we are comfortable with and not. And so I'm saying this to you because Saturn has returned to where it was. You might have been dead certain you would never get married again. Your client may have been certain they never wanted to have kids again. You may have said never ever. And here you are maybe thinking that it might reverse. So what I'm saying is people will make a lot of reverse decisions on what they were very strong about emotionally in the past. They're going to make reverse decisions because part of their decision to shut down the past was not because it was the right decision, but because they were gaining control over their feelings for the first time. Now that people have control and Saturn's passed to this energy, I think people are going, yeah, you know what, I don't know, not so much, doesn't bug me so much. And so my point is you definitely want to hold space for yourself and your clients, that it's completely okay to reverse your decision. It's completely okay to change your mind. It's completely okay that you once said never, and here you are anyways. That just makes you human, and it makes you on the path to serious joy, because you're not calling it by your history. You're not calling it by social expectation. You're calling it by what feels good right now. And that, my friend, is how reality was constructed. So that wraps up our Cosmic Clock. Stick around. I have your Zodiac weather, where I'll be talking about each of the 12 signs and where that tug-of-war is affecting you. All of that and more after this. Are you tired of being codependent? Have you ever wondered why you're always cheating? Why do you have to always mother everyone you date?
I understand.
The biggest problem usually is people choose the wrong person. Are you ready to find out the truth? Yes. In just one video, you'll understand what you're looking for in love and what you offer. You send us your date of birth, we send you a custom video that's all about you. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste Today, Act 3, our Zodiac weather. But before we roll into the weather, let's first get the answer to today's telepathy. From my temple to yours, I was beaming one of these billionaire Geminis to you. Which of these billionaire Geminis that I have in my eyes was a number 1, David Rockefeller, number 2, Cornelius Vanderbilt, or number 3, Anderson Cooper? And the answer is Anderson Cooper. I know that was just like sticking out like an obvious pink elephant in the room, but that's kind of part of my point. And sometimes I kind of trick you and do that, and then it's not the one, but today it was, right? So I'm trying to get you to look at the telepathy. Maybe you saw Anderson Cooper. Maybe your mind was like, no, that's too obvious. And that's sometimes what psychics are up against. Like a lot of times when I get information telepathically, my mind's like, that's way too obvious. And you have to learn that it's like, yeah, but that's often the truth. And so you have to learn to trust that vibe. Now, I chose Anderson. He's a step 12 Gemini, born June 3rd, 1967. And I just want to say I appreciate Mr. Cooper's work as far as bringing some humanity to CNN. I think that he's brought some humanity to CNN. I think CNN is a corporate evil, and I question, what good their hearts are in. But I think that this gentleman has brought much light to an area that often wouldn't. And he's often brought a lot of raised awareness around people who have been taken advantage of or who have suffered. And I know enough about the journalism industry to know that a lot of that is his choice and his pushing behind the scenes to do those stories when corporate America doesn't care. So my hat's to you, sir. Thank you so much. Interesting fact about Anderson Cooper, he's actually a Vanderbilt. That's why he was included in this list. But he changed his name probably just because he wanted to be known for himself and not his last name. But kind of interesting fact about him. He is a Vanderbilt himself. So moving on to today's rock and roll gospel. We're bouncing along with fun Geminis. One thing I notice about Gemini musicians is they're always fun. They're always like super fun. And this one is like to the T. And I brought this one up because for one, who she is, and secondly, the song I'm bringing up for today. It is Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul's a hard-working Gemini that climbed herself up the dancing ranks of Janet Jackson, and we saw Paula all the way to American Idol, right? And Paula is very cool. She's very articulate. And she's obviously stunning. She's got that Angelina Jolie kind of Gemini DNA, you know what I'm saying? And I really like this song because it kind of plays on yesterday's theme. Remember yesterday we talked about ebony and ivory and making peace with your shadow? Well, today I'm saying and reminding you that opposites attract. Remember this song where she's like dancing with the cat? Oh, I know this is all turned into a blast from the 80s or whatever, folks, but I guess, I don't know, it's me projecting my childhood. But listen to this, opposites attract. Turns out she is a step 18 Gemini. No wonder I like this lady. I'm step 18 Taurus, so anytime I meet another step 18, it's all like, let's do it, let's get on, it's business. There's no hinting with step 18. You know right away it's business or not. That's what I like about the 18. So go play some opposites attract. But before you boogie on down with Paula Abdul, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today and your special soul vitamin. And today's soul vitamin is designed to help you with the tug of war. Sponsored today by the moon opposing Pluto. Where is the tug of war in your life? Diagnosed for each of the 12 zodiac signs in the order of the 11 steps of serious joy, starting with the first and secret step, step 0, the Scorpios. Scorpios, sunny with a chance of grumpy today. I think you might be a little grumpy with this decision energy, but your tug of war is between believing and certain mind games. You can probably guess which side of that tug of war should win, the believing. Step 1, the Leos, cloudy with a chance of anger today as well. That's because your tug of war is between feeling faith versus the facts of reality, right? And that's where you have to get the facts of life right. Well, what is this 80s references? I don't know, my brain. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and cool today with the moon in their sign. So when the moon's in Cancer, everyone's moody, but they're fine. It's designed that way. But your tug of war might be with a partnership. It's between ego, willpower, and marriage partnerships. And again, I think ego needs to win on that one. Step 3, the Sagittariuses, sunny with a chance of anxiety today. They might be not feeling too comfortable in their own skin, but the tug of war is part of the reason. It's between feeling trust in yourself and your life and self-confidence. So feeling the trust and holding the confidence at the same time. Step 4, the Aquarians, sunny and hyper aware of their reality or health today. They have a tug of war between the reality of the now and holding faith. And I would say it's faith that they're not so good at. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and manifesting their lives today. Your tug of war is between money and values and your personal limits. And I'll tell you, I know you want the money. It's the limits that you're holding on to, old limits, ones that feel safe. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and professional today. Your tug of war is between certain decisions, maybe even career ones, and how you feel. And in your case, it's time to get on top of your feelings, feel better. Step 7, the Pisces, sunny and childlike today if they go with the flow of things. If they don't go with the flow, they might be childlike and hurt. But your tug of war is between listening to your heart or following social expectation. And I'll tell you, the answer is your heart. Yes. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny and sentimental today, but maybe in a tug of war between their relationship commitments and their ego's need for control. Guess which side you should be on? your relationships, not the control. Step 9, the Aries. Sunny, nesting, and resting today, but in a tug-of-war between trying to feel secure and your projection of what business expectations are. And I have to say, it is your projection, not necessarily the reality. Step 10, the Tauruses. Sunny and chit-chatty today, but likely caught in a tug-of-war between emotional, passionate thinking and dogma or beliefs. So obviously, Bull, go with the new thinking, let go of those old beliefs. And then finally, the Virgos. Sunny and social today with that moon in Cancer, but they are caught in a tug-of-war between social obligation and where you feel you belong and certain rules you put around your heart. And guess who gets to win? Your feelings of where you belong, not those old doggy rules. Well, that about wraps up today's Namaste Today. But hey, it doesn't have to stop here. You could be receiving a text message from me within the hour. It's called the Personal Sensei Network. And for those who are watched over by me, I'd like you to look out for 2 text messages today. One at 9 a.m. I'll be texting you about what you need to commit to on your inner life. And at 3 p.m. your local time, I'll be texting what you need to commit in your outer life. Now, if you'd like to join and be a part of the Personal Sensei Network where I'm with you through the whole day, come on down to SeriousJoy.me for more information. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube, we ask, hey, be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. If you want to be my friend on Facebook, just come on down to soulgarden.me. I'll take you to our Namaste Today page. You can like us there. And if you'd like to purchase a reading, Secrets of Birthdays, or the Serious Joy Personal Sensei Network, all of them are at soulmar.me. I thank you ahead of time. It's what keeps me on the air and on the beach. And please remember to love yourself. And remember, choose today, in every part of your day, what actually flows. Commit to what flows. You'll find you always know. It's the best way to go. All right, my friend, I love you so much. I'll see you in 24 hours with more. Until then, live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.